Morning, how y'all doing? It is well, Redbeard. It is a damn fine day to talk about a book, and today we are here for a book review, and we're going to talk about Awareness by Anthony DeMello. This is The Perils and Opportunities of Reality. This is, I want to call it self growth. I want to call it philosophy. It's more spiritualism than anything I've read, at least in a long, long time. I found this book again going down the self growth rabbit hole. Went down the rabbit hole with Ryan Holiday. I've talked about that multiple times. He's got a YouTube channel. He writes books. Writes books on stoicism. Books on philosophy. Really, really good books. I've read two of them. One's called The Obstacle is the Way. One is called Ego is the Enemy. Um, I got another one on tap here called Stillness is the Key. But so I watched some of his videos, and he has other writers and everyone from other self growth type writers, a la Tim Ferriss, which I'm going to get into, but to people like Matthew McConaughey and Whitney Cummings, who's a fairly raw comedian if you haven't checked her out, but Tom Segura, people like that. So cool channel. He has a bookstore. They come in there, they walk around, talk about books, mostly stuff like this, like self growth type stuff, or at least nonfiction history type things. But Tim Ferriss was on there, and I didn't really know much about Tim Ferriss, but he wrote a book called The 4 Hour Work Week, which I have not read, but I'm assuming the gist is that when you think about how much work you actually get done in your 40-hour work week, if you really applied yourself for 4 hours, like 4 hours um, just of a hard, dedicated, focused work that you might accomplish as much as you do in a 40-hour work week. I don't know. I'm assuming that at least is partly the gist of that book. Again, I haven't read it, but I watched another interview with Tim Ferriss on some other channel. I cannot remember what it was. And he was talking about like books that changed his life. And this is the number one book he mentioned. So because of that, I grabbed it, put it on the stack, and got to it a lot sooner than I thought I would. But let's get a little bit of synopsis stuff, and then I'll kind of talk about it. I mean, it's you know, it's a little deep. I mean, it takes all these basic themes that are kind of I guess universal to a lot of this stuff. To seize the day, memento mori, remember you must die. Do not forget to live. Things like that. But it definitely hits them from a more, almost a more serious angle. A more, this author believes we are all asleep and we all need to wake up. We are not aware of truth around us. We're not aware of the things that really matter. So it says the heart of Anthony DeMello's best-selling spiritual message is awareness, mixing Christian spirituality, Buddhist parables, Hindu breathing exercises, and psychological insight. DeMello's words of hope come together in awareness in a grand synthesis. In short, in short chapters for reading in quiet moments at home or at the office, he cajoles and challenges. We must leave this go, go, go world of illusion and become aware. And this only happens, he insists, by becoming alive to the needs and potential of others, whether at home or in the workplace. Here, then, is a masterful book of the Spirit challenging us to wake up in every aspect of our lives. It says Anthony DeMello was a Jesuit priest known throughout the world for his writings and spiritual conferences. He died suddenly in 1987. Among his many books are Sadhana and The Song of the Bird. J. Francis Stroud, the editor of Awareness, is a Jesuit priest who worked closely with Anthony DeMello. Now, I may be wrong when I say this, but somewhere in here in the introduction or whatever, I believe I read that this is not DeMello's writings. Like this is stuff from DeMello's conferences and speeches that Stroud then collected into this book. I may be 100% wrong about that, but I swear that I caught something along those lines. Hold on. So, I gave it 4 stars, low 4 stars, high 3 stars, somewhere in there. I mean, again, it's definitely, it comes off a bit more. Well, it's spiritualism, and he's a Jesuit priest, but it definitely comes off more preachy than some of these other books that I read. I mean, maybe a little bit less encouraging and inspirational, and a little bit more preachy. But I'm going to share a few things that I marked here, and I'm not gonna drag this out. But I enjoyed it. Trying to see what because I actually I do not fold like dog ear books, but I did because I didn't have my things with me. I'm actually going to read this because it's something about republicanism and democratism. So this may fall flat. It may not even be as poignant as I thought it was when I was reading it, but I'm going to mark this. Or I'm going to read this. It says, "Isn't it the same old I with new political convictions?" Let's see. Um, hold on. I remember hearing about a man who asked his friend, "Are you planning to vote Republican?" The friend says, "No, I'm planning to vote Democratic. My father was a Democrat, my grandfather was a Democrat, and my great grandfather was a Democrat." The man says, "That is crazy logic. I mean, if your father was a horse thief, and your grandfather was a horse thief, and your great grandfather was a horse thief, what would you be?" "Ah," the friend answered, "then I'd be a Republican." So funny things um, like that throughout. But the key thing was, like I said, we talk about this memento mori stuff, and it talks a lot about life after death. Like, everyone wants to know, is there life after death? I mean, religions built on it, wars fought for those religions, and so on and so forth. But nobody focuses on, is there life before death? But I'm gonna do another one here. Again, I have no idea what the context is on these some of these things that I marked, but it says, when you say to someone he's a communist, understanding has stopped at that, because this is about putting labels on things. Like when we put labels on things, like that's it, that's what it is, and we can no longer understand that. But uh, when you say to someone he's a communist, understanding has stopped at that moment. You slapped a label on him. She's a capitalist. Understanding has stopped at that moment. You slapped a label on her. And if the label carries undertones of approval or disapproval, so much the worse. How are you going to understand what you disapprove of, or what you approve of for that matter? All of this sounds like a new world, doesn't it? No judgment, no commentary, no attitude. One simply observes, one studies, one watches without the desire to change what is. Um, so, again, just a lot of different angles, things I hadn't thought of. A woman once told me that when she was a child, her Jesuit cousin gave a retreat in the Jesuit church in Milwaukee. He opened each conference with the words, "The test of love is sacrifice, and the gauge of love is unselfishness." That's marvelous. I asked her, "Would you want me to love you at the cost of my happiness?" "Yes," she answered. "Isn't that delightful?" Wouldn't that be wonderful? She would love me at the cost of her happiness, and I would love her at the cost of my happiness. And so you've got two unhappy people, but long live love. Yeah, I'm going to stop there, but just a lot of really, really good stuff like that, and really, simple topics, but thought about in ways that I legitimately had not, thought of before. So this is awareness, the perils and opportunities of reality. Anthony DeMello, right on the front, it says, "This is your wake up call." I don't know if it woke me up. I'd probably have to read it again, and maybe then I would wake up. But right now, I don't know that I'm fully awake. But anyway, I gave it low 4, high 3. So this has been WRB. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them. as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.